A traditional salutation, anecdotal humor, awkward silence, a casually inserted quote, a cliche and sentimental farewell riddled with the words remember, tradition, and future. Writing this, I made this list. A list of things I wanted to avoid in order to ensure that I was composing a truly original, emotion-provoking commencement speech. In doing so, I learned several things. First, lists are hard, and remembering where you put them is even harder. And lastly, never, ever underestimate anything, chiefly oneself. Sometimes I think society places such a weight on our back to be utterly unique. I often feel that we, at least I, attempt to be so original that we become undistinguishable. And realizing this, I threw my list that I just dug out from one of my pockets into a random corner of Mr. Sweeney's room, only to have to go later and find it so I could write this speech. A traditional salutation. Ladies and gentlemen, to say we've made it would be an insult not only to anyone over the age of 18, but an insult to the future of our soon-to-be graduates. With that, I welcome you to a pivotal moment in our long yet hope-filled existences. Anecdotal humor. Through scandals and drama and policies and restrictions, food days and homecoming week, student section prowess in our brand new athletic complex, and the love of our teams, without a doubt, this school, this class, is bonded, is one. No other cultural aspect of this school exemplifies this bond better than the cafeteria's legendary chili Crispitos. Now, to this day, many of us still don't understand what they really are or what they're made of. But when Chili Crispito Day, every other Tuesday and sometimes Friday if we're lucky, when it comes around, the whole school is abuzz. The thing with Chili Crispitos is that you either worship them or despise them. There is no in between. I remember the 2-year span when we went without these delicacies. The lunch line on Mexican food days would be filled with anguish and sorrow among those of us who praised the food, while the select few would wipe sweat from their brow in relief of another Crispito-free day. I remember distinctly overhearing 3 students describing the glory of the Chili Crispito to a new student, and then 2 more joined in refuting their claims. Wherever you stood on the line, you were passionate about it, and that reiterates where we stood and where we stand as a class, a bonded unit, vivacious and prideful even of the little things. Awkward silence. It's kind of the norm to poke fun at awkward silence, and it's a tradition to avoid it at all costs. But it seems to me that our best realizations in life come from those moments where we don't have anything to say. Now, this coming out of my mouth, one which only stops moving when I'm asleep, must seem like a grand joke. However, to not leave this bit of advice would prove a titanic mistake on my behalf. Classmates, as we press onward, wherever the world takes us, embrace the awkward silences in life. Say nothing, write nothing, tweet nothing, and just listen. The world has a lot to say. A casually inserted quote. Aside from my school, my family, and the History Channel, the comic strip Calvin and Hobbes has gotten me to where I am today. In the final strip ever composed of these 2 friends, Calvin stands with a sled in his hand, gazing over a snowy hill. Gazing over a snowy hill, looks to his friend Hobbes and exclaims, "It's a wonderful world, Hobbes, old buddy. Let's go exploring." And they slid off into the icy distance. Graduating from high school so far, it's for most of us the most highly anticipated moment of our life. And today, we go through that process as one class. We are classified as a class, not simply because of our ages, but because our schooling experience was unique to anyone. Same goes for every class that passes through these halls. May we always remember ourselves as one group, and those experiences we've shared. Like Calvin, we have a long journey ahead of us, one filled with many obstacles. However, we all have that old buddy. In fact, a whole group of old buddies that can aid us, like Hobbes, and explore this trial-filled world. A cliche, sentimental farewell riddled with the words remember and tradition and future. Goodbyes are hard and overused. A send-off sounds much better. It makes it easier not to get emotional. Friends, I can't help but to call you Panthers, because despite the cheesy sound, that's what we are. Throughout the years, it feels like we've been submersed in examples of Panther pride, or reasoning of tradition of excellence, and here we are. Everything we're learning coming to fruition and bursting through our heads. And yet the first thing I come back to is how real this tradition we've breathed is, and how proudly true excellence rings through this school and this community. Lastly, I guess my whole purpose in formatting this speech so obscurely was to, and in essence, provide an example of underestimation. I underestimated all the qualities a typical graduation speech has, without even trying to understand why they're so often used. Now, as I finished, the value of each element is inherently clear to me. What I'm segueing to is to remind this class to never underestimate yourself, up here or the world. Use what you've been taught and what is known, and cascade into your future without 1 ounce of doubt of your ability to succeed. Despite my high moral fiber of originality telling me not to use this quote, it is a powerful piece, one of which we should bear wholeheartedly as we step into worlds unknown. Class of 2014, Winston Churchill said this, and he said it like this: never, ever, 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 ever give up. Thank you.